Hello everyone. This is our weekly live stream where we discuss everything and anything that has to do with both SEO and AI. At this point, it's all very connected and overlapping. So we are always discussing, pretty much always, discuss both. And I'm Ann Smarty. I'm an SEO with more than 20 years of experience, and it's definitely an exciting time to be an SEO. I'm the co-founder of Smarty Marketing, that is New York-based boutique SEO agency, which is at this point specializing in SEO plus AI or GEO, however you want to call it. And that includes all fun things like digital PR, Reddit marketing, reputation management, including Reddit reputation management, and of course, my personal SEO and AI strategies, which I create myself. So today with me and always, April, our director of social, as well as the most creative person in our company. Thank you so much, April. She will be asking questions today or bringing your questions to the table so that we can discuss those live. You can ask your questions anywhere you're watching us from. We are streaming to my personal LinkedIn as I'm Smarty, to SEO Smarty on X, and Facebook Smarty.marketing page on Facebook. So you can join us anywhere. Subscribe in Smarty.com, which is where I actually announce our weekly topic and give a handy link to join us every week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. EST. Today is an interesting topic because there is so much confusion about what LLMs are doing, the never-ending debate, arguments as to how to call it. Is it still SEO? Does SEO have anything to do with optimizing for LLMs, or how to call it? We at this point have two popular acronyms, which is GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, and AEO, Answer Engine Optimization. It's been a huge discussion for as long as ChatGPT is around. I think ChatGPT was the driver of LLM visibility overall, of LLM evolution as well. And for about 3 years now, we cannot even agree on whether we need a new acronym, whether it's still SEO, or what that new acronym should be. To be completely honest, I have been a little changing my opinion on this as well, based on how it has been developing. So I still call it GEO just because that's how it started. I think that's the oldest term out here for that. I don't agree it's 100% SEO, and I will explain today. Actually, today we're discussing how those AI answers are generated. When you prompt ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude, how do they create those answers? Because there is no transparent and linear algorithm in this, and we don't have insight in many of those steps, and many of them can be called pure SEO, but some of them are not. And this is the point. I feel like we have to put those arguments aside, focus on something actionable finally. But for that, let's discuss how those AI answers are created first. Google doesn't help us, by the way. They did launch their own AI visibility guidelines last week, 2 weeks ago, more or less, and they claim it's all SEO. Well, guess what? Their guidelines are only talking about AI answers and AI mode. Those two things are part of their search environment. Those are part of search features. They depend on search. Of course, they are SEO, but there is much more to real LLMs generating AI answers, and there is much more into whether you become part of those answers. So let's first figure out what those answers are about, what they consist of. There is the actual answer that is being generated. And in my opinion, geo is actually becoming part of that answer when your name or product becomes part of the solution. There are also citations. Usually they can be in line or in the right hand panel, separate panel. Sometimes it's right hand and it's changing, but there is a separate section for citations. There are multiple studies, including the most recent one, which I think I covered on my subreddit, by the way. Join SEO for AI on Reddit. That is our dedicated subreddit where we share all of these studies, findings, experiments, so that we can at least have a little bit of insight into what's going on. I don't know what's happening with my video quality, to be absolutely sure. I just got a comment. I can clearly see myself in the recording of this video. It is also very clear, but for live streaming, for some reason, maybe that's my connection. I have no idea how to fix that. I apologize. But I haven't changed anything with my connection. I definitely use the same thing for everything, but for some reason, the quality is bad. I will try. I don't know what really to do with that. Maybe that's room has poor connection. I don't know. I apologize for the quality. We should probably start publishing the recordings of these videos on a more regular basis because the recordings have good quality. It's the live streaming that somehow isn't working for me. So I apologize for that. I hope you can hear me at least, because definitely it's more important than even looking at me. So I hope that will somehow straighten out. So let's talk about AI answers and how they're generated. To be clear, there is a very good way to explain that. When two human beings are talking to each other and one has a question, let's say, please recommend me a good restaurant in, let's say, in the area. You, in your mind, likely have an answer already because you know the area, you know which place you like, and you can give that answer without much thinking, and you give that answer right away. Now, let's say that you know your friend better and you know that, let's say, they prefer pizza places and you have no idea. You don't like pizza, so you don't know. At that point, to help your friend, because they are new to the area, you Google and you give them different options, and you can also add something more, something like, oh, I've heard this place was not bad, or this place is very conveniently located. I've been passing through that a lot of times. This is exactly the process that in generally AI do when answering prompts. First, they give the answer from their training data, which is their basically mind. But then they are also not very sure if they know the perfect answer. In many cases, they do. So they will just give you the answer without any links or references. And because they already know the answer and they are confident about that. Now, what if they don't? I'm not sure if they know the answer very well. At that point, they will search. This is the second step to giving you the answer. They basically search just like we are when we are not sure about the answer. Is the quality any better? Please post now in the comments. Again, apologies for that. So when they give you, when they search just like we do, they see a lot of URLs, too many to click all of them. So the third step to that is they pick URLs that they want to click. How they are doing that is still a little bit of a mystery. There are a lot of studies and experiments that show that they pay attention to rankings. The higher you appear, the more likely you will search, they will click it. There is search snippet dependence. If the search snippet looks nice, they will click it. So it is a little bit of, if they know the URL, for example, they will also, or they know the brand, they will click it. It's very similar to how people pick what they click in search results. They operate very similarly. So now we have 3 steps before we move on. First step is training data, no rankings, nothing there. It's your clear brand positioning in the training data. Basically, if an LLM knows that you are solving the issue they are being asked. Second step is actually understanding if they're not happy with their answer that they have, they will search. This is SEO. The first step is basically what I call GEO, is clear positioning in the training data. Next step is basically SEO, because they search. In most of them, search Google. So this is where you want to rank. It's still pure SEO. Third step, they choose what to click and read. Pretty much also SEO, just like we optimize search snippets for people, we optimize them for LLMs now as well. If your search snippet looks like it's answering question well, they will click it. And if you rank as well, if you rank on top in top 3, 5, it's very similar to SEO. Now we go to the step 4 of answer generation. This is they go to the URL, read the page, and select what they want to pull to generate the answer. Basically, they take what they think is important. This is step number 4, only step number 4, when they are already on your page. Before that, they searched for you, they found you. The previous 2 steps are SEO. Step number 4 is basically answer engine optimization, when you optimize your content to help LLMs find the answer quicker. We can call it SEO just as well, because we've been doing that for years and years for featured snippets. In my mind, not much has changed. You just structure your content the way it's easy, it's helpful for people as well as crawlers to find answers very quickly. 4 steps so far, maybe 3 of them are SEO, but if you like answer engine optimization, 2 of them are SEO, the 4th one is AEO. Now we go to finally step 5. First, they pull everything they could find in an answer, and now they choose who to cite. This is the thing that is visible to us because we see those citations. But the nice thing here, and we had a previous episode about that there is absolutely no transparency as to what they will cite. They may cite pages that they used for the answer. They may cite pages that they found but never went to. They may cite pages from their partners. We know OpenAI is partnering with a lot of publishers. They may cite pages that do not even exist. That's why we track hallucinated URLs from ChatGPT. If there are any clicks to those, we always track that from Google Analytics. They may do all of that or none of that. So it is very not transparent. But again, this is the only thing that we can see. And at that point, there is no strategy. We assume that if we do well on all those 4 previous steps, if LLMs knows about our brand and trusts us and it knows where it's positioned, when we have good SEO and we rank well, when we have good search snippets and they get clicked, and if our content is well structured and clear, we may assume that we will get cited. Doesn't always happen. It's not a good success metric. Citations are great to measure and track because we want to know top cited sources by LLM, or we want to know what competitors' content is influencing answers, and we don't have that content. It's helpful, but it's not a good measurement for AI visibility. Ultimate. We can rely on it for our decisions, but it doesn't reflect the success of our, I apologize, but it doesn't reflect the success of our strategy. because citations are very vague. So what happens now? Oh my God. I apologize. I am on non-disturb. I don't know why my Mac is allowing this to happen. So what is the successful LM visibility? In my understanding, that's GEO. Yes, you want to be cited. We take any visibility we can. But the success is actually us being the answer, our brand or our product being in the answer itself. Again, no perfect way to measure that. Tracking your branded searches, tracking your important prompts is a great first step. Tracking your brand mentions and all of that. All of those metrics combined kind of show you the bigger picture if you've been doing a good job, but no direct attribution because many of those brand and product mentions are not linked, so you don't get direct traffic from ChatGPT answers. So when you measure your LLM visibility, whatever you're using, we are using Peak internally in the company. SEMrush is also very good at that, and there are many other solutions. When you do that, please take in account many more metrics than just citations. I understand that citations is the only ultimate way for us to measure anything because they're at least linked and we get clicks from those, but they're not the ultimate goal of any AI visibility strategy. So I hope I make it a little bit clearer as to what SEO is, what GEO is, and what AEO is, and how they make one big picture of the whole LLM visibility strategy. We need all of those steps. Training data is definitely fundamental because in many cases, LLMs will not even search for answers. But when they search, they in many cases depend on what they know about the topic, and they will even use brand names in their searches to find specific and up-to-date information about what they already know. So GEO, in my understanding, is absolutely different from SEO because the searching step starts next after that. Whew. Okay, let's see if we have any questions from the audience or from the April. I think that there is one about link building, which is a great question, by the way. Let's discuss that. Where do links come into all of this? First of all, I do believe link building, just like SEO, is fundamental. The cool thing about link building, if you do that right, is that it can also, in many ways, impact step number one, which is your brand visibility. If you do links well, you will not only get SEO benefits, but you will also get training data benefits because training data needs to always be reminded about you. Whether it's fresh data, just like with links, they need more brand mentions and they need more links to be always reminded about you. Digital PR is something we are doing, and it is in the overlap between actually SEO and GEO because good digital PR helps with both. It gets you fresh brand mentions in a great context that is relevant, and it gets you backlinks that are helpful for SEO. So I would choose definitely links that help with both. Guest posting links, if you do that right, same benefit. You want high traffic, highly relevant publications where you actually place your guest posts, and then it will be helpful to both. It's not about the volume of links. It's not about the anchor text at this point. It's more about capturing both SEO benefits and GEO benefits because we want both. They drive one another. There is no GEO visibility without SEO visibility, but also if you only focus on SEO and are invisible in AI answers, you're kind of losing out on the future. And we are promised that just about anyone is going to use AI answers soon. I'm not sure about that yet, but definitely something we are slowly but surely moving forward to.
Another question?
Is tracking that with all the personalization we will have in search? Well, we will come up with some kinds of tracking. It is definitely less transparent and much more challenging than it was 10 years ago. We don't have as much transparency at this point because rankings do not send as many clicks, and rankings are also different. You can rank number one and be only visible after two scrolls of search results. So there is no clear transparency as to what and how to track for sure. But if you think about that, marketing had always been like that before search. Before search, when you wanted to be known, you invested in radio ads or banner ads. And guess what? There was no clear attribution between those investments and your visibility. But you could rely on something like more calls, something more after your campaigns to kind of figure out what worked or what didn't. So we are definitely moving in that direction again, because it's not very clear, as there's no very clear path between your visibility and your people getting to your site. And it's not exactly new. This has been happening for just many years, by the way. I guess at least 10 years, because rankings have not been 10 blue links for a while at this point. People have become much more literal, like they know the web literacy has been growing a while, because now people don't just search and buy, they do research. So they can find you and they can go elsewhere on Reddit or price comparison tools, or they search for coupons, or they search for people's reviews about you. So they don't buy right away. So it hasn't been as clear as it had been at the beginning of SEO. So it has been developing for a while, for sure. It's not as easy, but it will definitely be possible. And like I said, the combination of all kinds of factors here, you probably need to combine all of that to figure things out. That includes clicks, that includes Search Console and its average position growth or decline. That includes branded search. For sure, branded search is very important now for understanding whether people know more about you, so you want to see that grow. It includes brand mentions. If you are being discussed more, including on Reddit, that means you're more visible. So it's the combination of many, and of course, use AI analytics as well. Don't stress about their visibility scores, for sure. And I think we discussed that many times. Your visibility score in Peak or SEMrush, somewhere depends, relies on what you put as a prompt. So the data is a little bit biased. You definitely don't know what exactly people are prompting when it comes to your niche, but at least there will be some comparison with your competitors, what they are doing, what you should be doing. So look at those AI tracking platforms with a little bit grain of salt, but still use them. They do give a lot of insight into you as compared to your competitors. So there are a lot of things you can take into account to kind of understand if you're moving in the right direction. It's not as easy, but it's still possible for sure.
Another great question here.
What are your top 3-5 geo tactics for optimizing a blog post? Also, do you really need to fine-tune your homepage based on what LLMs are saying about your competitors in order to get cited? I have a little bit of, I don't like the end of this question, because again, getting cited is not your ultimate goal. You want to be in the answer. You want to be included in the answer. Now let's go step by step here. 5 geo tactics for optimizing blog posts. So I would say one geo tactic is basically put your company and your product names in the context. For example, you did a consumer research 2 years ago or a year ago. Don't just cite it in your article. Always say according to and the company name. Don't just put your links. If you are talking about how to problem solving content, name your products that solve a particular problem. Don't just rely on related products widgets. LLMs just search, just read the text. They don't go navigating your site. They don't click those links that you cited as a research. They don't click product page links. In most cases, they need the answer and they save time as much as they can. So they will read your answer, find the answer, move it to the to give it to people, and your name or your product names will be lost in that transition. Anytime you plan your content, you need to think about how your identity, how your entity or your brand name or your product name should be part of that context. This is number one in the only geo optimization, generative engine optimization tactic that I would suggest implementing today, if not yesterday. The other ones I would say are AEO, it's answer engine optimization tactics. It's, yes, making your sentences shorter, your language more focused. Think about how authoritative and confident you sound. Don't make loud claims. Everything should be supported by some data. Don't say, I think this might be better. Say, according to my 20 years of experience, this is the only option. Sound very confident and always refer to why you are saying this, because that's how you be more trusted, not just by LLMs, by people as well. So it's good on both fronts. Don't optimize just for AI. This is always a bad tactic. Prioritize people, tell what can help them in the first place, and be very clear about that, because people like clarity as well, but it's for LMs it's just more important because they just are very easily confused, much easier than people. So just sound the same way, prioritize your people, but make it much more clear and easier to find the answer to as many questions as you cover on your page. For the homepage, yes, there are changes you need to do, not so much about competitors, but be very clear about your brand or business positioning. What your, if it's, let's say you are a blogger, just tell on your homepage why you're covering some topic and what makes you the expert or even eligible to talk about stuff. Maybe it's your experience, maybe it's your education, maybe it's your work, a career that you have been building for many years. Be very clear on the homepage what kind of criteria makes you a good person to write about what you're writing. Same with businesses, e-commerce websites, all of that. Always talk about what you're doing and why. Talk about your awards, milestones, how many years in business, happy customers. All of those should be on your homepage, because in many cases LLMs will start there. Yes, they will search more. They will also find you on Reddit and elsewhere, but they will start with your homepage. In many cases, that will drive all the research after that. So you want to be very clear and confident on the homepage. Just don't oversell yourself. Be very factual as well and trustworthy. Much more important these days, because this is in many cases where LLM research starts if they know about you. I hope the distinction between GO, AO, and SEO is becoming a little bit clearer. Again, it's my current point of view. It might be changing together with the industry. If the industry gives up on the AEO acronym, I will be only happy. I will happily call it SEO. I will probably never agree that the first step is SEO. So I'm a little bit an outsider of the old school SEO. I won't say old school, I say established experts in our industry who I very much respect, but there are many of them who just say this is all SEO. I'm a little bit of a different opinion here. I hope I made myself clear as to why. Again, so many apologies about the low quality of the video. I'm really not sure how to fix that. Maybe we should record this and restream on a different day for those who did not get. I don't know. We will figure something out. Please subscribe in smarty.com, which is where I announce all these interesting topics that we discuss every week on Wednesdays. April, thank you so much for pulling all those questions and helping me out here. See you next week, everyone. Ask your questions and more questions in the comments. I will all answer them. Thank you and have a great week.